84% of employees are either trying to be accountable and failing, or they're avoiding it altogether. Now, that's not a mindset problem. That's not a character flaw. That's a systems failure. And today I'm going to show you exactly why and what to do about it. But first, let me tell you what accountability is not. It's not a weapon. It's not micromanaging. It's not your boss breathing down your neck. And it's definitely not getting your name on a whiteboard every time something goes wrong. But accountability is most leaders, and I mean 82% of managers, admit that they don't even know how to keep their team accountable. So if you've ever been on that team where nobody takes ownership, now you know why. Nobody's modeling it. Nobody built the system for it. And today we're going to fix that. Hi, I'm Lena Nasserdeen. I'm the CEO and I'm the founder of Rise Up For You. And my team and I work with organizations all over the world, everything from Fortune 5 to local nonprofit organizations, helping leaders build the skills that are actually going to move the needle and create long-term success, not just professionally, but also personally. And I'll be honest with you, amongst our clientele, accountability is one of the biggest challenges that we see in the workplace time and time again. Every time we have a sales call about them potentially working with us, accountability and ownership are usually some of the things that they want to close the gap on. But here's the truth about accountability that no one's talking about. Accountability, it's actually not about punishment. It's about empowerment. It's about working together as a team. Now, when you are truly accountable, you know what's expected of you. You take ownership of your role and you acknowledge the outcome, whether it goes well or it doesn't. That's it. That is the whole thing. But here's where people get lost. Most teams are operating without clarity. 85% of people don't even know what their expectation is trying to achieve. So how are you supposed to have accountability for a target nobody has clearly defined? You just can't. And that's not your fault. That's a leadership and a systems problem. So the first question isn't, why isn't my team accountable? The first question is, have you actually told them and showed them what accountability looks like? Because if you haven't, you don't have an accountability problem, you have a clarity problem. So let's talk about how you build this from the ground up. Step number one, clarity is not a one-time event. It's not, I just had my meeting, I expressed, and now we're good. Most leaders give the project brief, everybody nods, and then accountability disappears in 2 weeks later. Why? Because nobody really knows what their expectation is and nobody really understands what they're supposed to do. It was never reinforced or reiterated. If you want accountability to stick, you need anchors, you need touch points, written confirmation, task boards, whether it's digital or physical, where progress is visible to everybody. This isn't micromanaging, this is actually making it real so people can see the progress. Because here's the thing, if it doesn't get measured, it doesn't get done. When it gets made visible, it gets owned. Step number two is weekly check-ins. Structured, consistent, absolutely non-negotiable. Now, I know this can be challenging sometimes because especially as leaders, there's a lot of things that we have to do. There's fires we have to put out, but it's not about how's it going. That's why a lot of times you'll just get the response, fine. I'm talking about round robin updates. Every person, every week, share their progress with the team. What did you commit to? What did you deliver? What got done? This does two things. One, it keeps people on track. And two, it creates shared ownership. When the whole team witnesses your commitments and your follow-through, accountability stops being a top-down thing. It becomes cultural. Now, I'll be honest with you, some people aren't gonna like the accountability. They don't like the pressure. They like kind of phoning it in. But when you're able to create this system, step one and step two so far, then you're gonna be able to see the team members that truly are working and putting effort in for the greater good of the organization and the team. Now, step number three is one of my favorite. Let's talk about feedback, because this is where most leaders drop the ball. Feedback should not just be a one-time event thing. Feedback should be built on the rhythm of how your team operates. Annual reviews are great. They're great for the big picture. They're great for the whole year. But if somebody only gets feedback one time a year, and let's say they hear it in December, you've wasted 11 months for them to course correct. You've wasted 11 months where they can actually take ownership and accountability of the things that aren't going well. So here's the system that actually works that we see the most progress with. Of course, your annual performance review for long-term growth, quarterly peer reviews that are structured with honest feedback, and then monthly sessions with your leadership focused on growth and development, not just performance, but what are the areas that they actually need to grow in, and then what tools are you giving them? And after After every single conversation, you send a follow-up email. Don't forget the written email. You document it, okay? That strengthens opportunities, action items in writing. We want to see it because spoken words disappear, and sometimes team members can say that they never got taught or they never learned or they never knew. Written words create accountability and, of course, a paper trail. And here's the non-negotiable role on how to get feedback. Be specific, be constructive, be balanced, and provide resources, okay? Too many times, leaders will say, here's what you need to work on, but the team member actually doesn't even know where to start. And so they never grow, they don't work on it, and the next thing you know, they get fired, okay? So make sure that you're having a conversation. That's how you build trust and accountability at the same time. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself because the next section is the most uncomfortable. I want you to ask yourself these questions and really ask them, lean into them. Do you hold everyone accountable equally? Do you let some people slide and hammer on others? Because the moment your team sees inconsistency, you lose all credibility. That's it. All of it done out the window. So you need to know, do you play favorites? Even the perception of favoritism poisons a team. People stop trying when they think the game is rigged. Are you avoiding hard conversations? Because if you're ducking conflict to keep the peace, you are accumulating debt, not trust. And that debt shows up as low morale, low performance, and a culture of mediocrity. And this one is really critical, and we see this a lot. Do you have a system for measuring accountability, such as EOS, results? Not a vibe, not a feeling, a system. Metrics, check-ins, reporting, structures. If there is no consequence for a lack of ownership, and I mean this, lack of ownership will continue. It creates disengagement, resentment, and a slow race to the bottom. This is what we call spectator mode, where people just chill and they sit back and they spectate the situation. Nobody takes ownership, nobody's accountable. When someone doesn't take ownership, they step aside, they watch things unfold, and they start a self-fulfilling prophecy of decline. And they say, hey, it's not my problem. I have nothing to do with it. Do not let that be your team, and do not let that be you. So the big question is, how do you sustain accountability long term? Because here's the part that people often miss. Accountability is not something you install. It's something you maintain over and over and over again. So the three qualities that are going to make this possible is consistency, showing up the same way every day, not just when it's convenient, not just when you're being watched. Consistency is the foundation of trust, credibility, and the trust is the foundation of everything else. Number 2 is reliability, following through on what you say. When your team knows what you mean what you say and you do what you promise, accountability becomes mutual. They hold themselves to the same standard that you hold yourself to. And number 3 is persistency. Stay with it even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even if you get off track for a week of 2 because you have an event, because accountability often means having the uncomfortable conversations, revisiting the missed deadlines, showing up after maybe a week of vacation, pushing forward when it would be easier to let it go. Persistency is what separates a high-performance culture from a polite one. Consistency, reliability, and persistency. Those 3 things maintained over time build a team that doesn't need to be managed because they can manage themselves. And finally, here's what I want you to really take away from this. Creating a culture of accountability begins with you. Hopefully, before you joined this video, you saw my first video on emotional intelligence and ownership. And if you haven't, let's go back and watch it. It continues because of you, and it evolves because of you. That is entirely on you. You don't need a perfect team. You need a clear system, consistent follow-through, honest feedback, and the courage to hold yourself to the exact same standard that you hold everybody else to. Because the goal is not control. The goal is to build an organization that holds itself accountable so that you can lead from the front, not chase from behind. If this hit different for you, I want you to ask yourself one question this week. Where have I been in spectator mode in my own life or business, just sitting back and watching and not taking ownership and accountability? Write it down, own it, and then do something about it. I would say the first step is go back and watch the video if you haven't already on emotional intelligence and taking ownership. That's accountability in real life, in real time. I'll see you on the next video. And welcome to Rise Up For You TV. Emotional intelligence is often the difference between good and exceptional performance. When individuals develop emotional intelligence, they communicate more effectively, handle stress with greater ease, and build stronger relationships, both personally and professionally. And for organizations, the payoff is clear: higher retention, healthier team dynamics, and leaders who know how to inspire and influence rather than just instruct. Studies show companies that prioritize EQ, emotional intelligence, consistently outperform those that don't, because people who feel valued, understood, contribute more, stay longer, and lead better. Here at Rise Up For You, we love working with professionals and teams with the emotional intelligence skills that create both personal growth and organizational success. We'd love to connect with you, learn more about your goals, and share how we are helping companies around the world enhance their culture, their engagement, and their performance through learning the emotional intelligence skills. If this sounds like something of interest to you, book your call with our team, completely complimentary. Bring your goals, and let's share with you how we can make the greatest difference possible together as partners.